Hello YouTube, thanks for joining me on my first video venture, basic prepping and straight talk with Tad. Never intended on being a YouTuber, really didn't. It's never been something I aspired to in life. But recently some things have come to my attention that I just want to have my observations and opinions put out there for people that may be interested in this type of lifestyle, this community. I was a prepper when prepping wasn't cool, when it wasn't trendy. You say prepper and people conjured up a image of you living in the woods somewhere 100 miles from nowhere with a bunch of canned food, booby traps around your one-room cabin, and barely staying warm in the wintertime just to avoid doomsday. Well, I'm sure there are some people like that, and you know, God bless them if they can do that and they're doing it. That's great. My hat's off to them. I couldn't. I have a family to look after. I have a job. I have a life. So, basic prepping, I came up with the name of the channel for Basic Prepping and Straight Talk. You have beginner preppers, you have novice preppers, you have super preppers, you have doomsday preppers, you have off-gridders. They're all great people. They all have their idea of what they're doing and what they're prepping for, and that's great. The reason I'm here today, though, is for the ones that don't quite understand why we do what we do and how to get started in it, and should they even get started in it. That's something you got to make a personal choice about, and I'm not here to tell you either way, but I am here to help you if you have questions that I can cover. You know, I'm trying to cover them by being here today. I do want to state that from here forward, all my videos are going to be my opinion alone. They're not corporate backed opinions. They're not popular opinions, I'm sure. I'm just trying to help people that can use a little help, trying to get through all the mull and the minutia that's out there that is making our community kind of crazy right now. It's like a friend of mine, never been a prepper. He knew I was. I don't advertise it in my social circles, but he knew I was, and he came to me and he said, Tad, he said, I'm kind of worried about the world. I said, really? He said, yeah, it's on fire, man. He said, all the news articles and all the channels I'm looking at and all the websites I go to and all the news stations and everything are telling me how bad the world is. I said, man, I said, hell, the world has been bad for a long, long time. I said, that's nothing new. I said, we survived a civil war, Spanish influenza, World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Iraq, the gas shortages of 1970s. We had a Cuban Missile Crisis, which I'm sure that really got a lot of people stirred up. Oh, and let's not even talk about what happened in 2020. That was a wake-up call for a lot of people. That's when I believe prepping became popular. Not mainstream, but popular. I've had more people talk to me about it since then. And I made some observations. We're still here. We're still here. And another thing, I was listening to some preppers the other night, or an off-grid person, and they told me that preppers are just fearful, that we're just fearful and we're just prepping for everything and we're buying all this stuff and stockpiling and hoarding. Well, one thing I'm not is fearful. I'm not afraid of much. I can tell you there are two things that do scare me. Biological weaponization by other countries or our own. Nuclear detonation, nuclear exchange, tactical or otherwise. Now those two things, yeah, they get the hair on the back of my neck standing up. And we'll talk about that in another video at another time, but today's video is just basically focused on why I'm doing this. Trying to show people that the world is not ending tomorrow. There's time, if you want to say that. Yeah, I know everybody says we're running out of time. Everybody you talk to, all in a panic. I'm not, and here's why. I observe people. I watch. I do. I'm not stalker type watch, but I watch people. Give you a couple of instances. And you know this for a fact. During, say, the 2020 thing, when it happened, I went to the grocery store. I watched all the panic buying. I was in it. And you're thinking to yourself, well, Tad, you're a prepper. What were you doing at the store? I was watching. I was watching society fall apart in front of my very eyes. Shelves were being cleared off of everything by everyone, whether they needed it or not. It was just take because somebody else might get it. How many rolls of toilet paper can you use at one time? The world didn't end, okay? But everybody thought it was going to. People are motivated by fear. Fear sells a lot of things. And that's another reason I'm on this channel. The corporations have found out that beginner preppers, people that are concerned about their well-being, are motivated by fear. Buy my product. It'll get you through the apocalypse. No, that's not true. That's not going to happen. Don't fool yourself. There are certain staples we need to have. Certain things. You need food. You need water, shelter, heat. And then you build off of that list. And you can, so many different ways we can go with this right now off of that list. I mean, those are videos in the future that we will discuss each and every one of them. But like, for instance, my mindset is be proactive and not reactive. Case in point, people in Louisiana, when Katrina came through, they had a warning. They knew it was coming several days in advance. And God, that storm devastated Louisiana. The loss of life, the images from that, I felt so heartbroken for those people. I did, I really did. It was terrible. And I watched, because I like to observe. I watched the nightly news, I watched all the news reports, and I was watching. And it started to deteriorate about day number 2 into it. By day 3, the looting began. I got no problem with you if your baby's starving and you have to go steal some formula. Do not take that out of context. I do not condone any theft of any type. I think it's wrong, but survival mode kicks in. You're going to do what you got to do to survive. I understand it. So, but what I don't understand, people were sitting on top of their roofs keeping watch. People were looting big screen televisions, walking through waist deep water with them. Why? There was no power for them to plug them into. It was a want. It was chaos, anarchy. You do what you want to. Can't depend on the police, because where were the police? They were at home with their families, trying to protect their loved ones and their property. I get that. I don't blame nobody. But if you look at it in a small segment, Katrina was terrible. It struck New Orleans, a small section of the United States. Help was on the way. The National Guard was on the way. The government was on the way. The military was on the way. FEMA was on the way. And people knew this. They were not stranded on an island. But instead they chose to develop into societal collapse. Took 3 days, guys. Now, let's say something happens that upsets the apple cart for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 states. Same thing. If it's that bad, what are people going to do? They're going to do the same thing. Because people do not prepare until there's a real-time emergency, and then everybody wants to prepare. Even if you have warning. I mean, people prepare for nuclear exchange detonation. I could say a lot about that, but let me just say this. If you've got the money and you've built yourself $1 million bunker underground, you've got, I don't know, 5 years of food and water and sanitation, everything you need down there. God bless you. You've done really good for yourself. That's great. Let me ask you this. You're at work. You're 20 minutes away from your bunker because you want to keep a safe, close distance to your bunker at all times. So you change your job so you can live in fear of this happening, so you're close to your bunker at all times. All right. Let's go with that. And we'll say that the government warns us there's about to be a nuclear exchange. You may have 20 minutes maximum time, because no country's going to call you and tell you, hey, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we're setting off nukes, be ready by 5. Not going to happen, guys. When that alert comes out, if it comes out, it's going to be when nukes are already in the air. They're going to be flying at that point. What are you going to do about it? You're going to jump in your car, scramble with every other person that has lost their mind at that time, because everybody will, trust me, and me included probably, and rush home to your $1 million bunker. You plan for it to take you 15, 20 minutes to get there. Well, 20-minute marks up and you're still in your car in traffic. Flash goes off. Your bunker's fine. All your food's fine. Where are you at? Those are the type things that I believe need to be said, whether people like it or not. But people just jump on the hype and the bandwagon of all of it. You know, and biological, well, I mean, let's go back to the nuclear. Look at what happened in Hawaii, people. Guys, they didn't get an alert. They got nothing. All they knew is that they were being directed willy-nilly wherever they could go to. They got nothing. No alerts, no sirens. People tragically burned to death. I cannot even imagine. I cannot contemplate what happened there. Did the government fail them? Yes, it did. That's why I don't count on the government for much. It's simple and plain as that. You know, it's just like, for instance, I know you've seen this too. It's January somewhere, you're in your house, news comes on, and you're going to get 4 inches of snow 2 days from now. Well, honey, I got to run by the grocery store on the way home. We're supposed to get snow. So there you are, you're standing there with the other 12,000 people that got the same message. There's no bread, there's no milk, there's no eggs. I don't know why everybody buys up all that stuff. But anyway, and there you are, you're standing in line. Then you got to go by the gas station, because in case your power goes out, you got to fill up the generator, right? So now you got to go home and you piled in as many gas cans as you can. Get to the gas station, sit in line. Gas station runs dry and there's 3 cars in front of you, and now you jump back in your car and race to the next station to see if you can repeat the whole process again. See, some people don't understand that all, or I would say not all, but 90% of us are preppers already. You don't believe that statement, I understand that. But when you get ready to go on a vacation, do you book your hotel room? Do you, if you're driving, do you load up a cooler? Go to the grocery store and fill that up, go by the gas station, top off all your fuel, get everything for your children, so for that long drive so you don't have to stop 100 times, other than maybe to go to the bathroom. Well, the whole time you were doing that, it's prepping, whether you believe it or not. I call those closet preppers. They're preppers, but preppers are dirty words, so they don't want to realize that they actually do these things every day in life. But that can all be changed. And that's why I tell people that are trying to get into this lifestyle, they're worried to death. They've seen so much stuff. And I tell them, I say, hey guys, you know, it's kind of like eating an elephant. How do you do it? One bite at a time. Just one bite at a time. You go to the grocery store today, you're planning on spending $50. Well, take that $5 bag of chips and put it back on the shelf and buy you 3 cans of canned food. So you can take it home and put it in your prepper pantry. A prepper pantry is no more than just a pantry where you keep stuff. I call it a prepper pantry. Some people call it a pantry. Add to it. Make it better. Have more. So the next snowstorm comes, you ain't out there running around looking for something. It never ceases to amaze me, guys. I don't understand it. We try to do the things we can to protect ourselves and our families, but we never really do anything about it. We say we're going to, but it never happens. During that 2020 thing I was talking about earlier, I didn't need anything. I had it. I'm not bragging. I was just ahead of the game a little bit. You could be too. What's stopping you? Nothing. You say you don't have the money? Okay, well, I understand that. A lot of people don't. But did you buy food that you probably didn't really need as far as nutrition? Probably. A lot of us do. It's habit. So take that $5, put it toward 2 cans of food. Put it away. Rotate it out as you go. And you will start to see your stockpile and your self-insurance become so much more viable. You will have more. Be proactive, not reactive. Go out and observe people. Watch behavior. Watch how behavior changes. It doesn't take much, guys. It could be a false flag warning and everybody's going to be at the store. I know they said that Hurricane Lee may hit the East Coast. I waited. Went by a couple of stores. Sure enough, there they were. Getting ready for Hurricane Lee. Never even came within 500 miles of my location. Stores were getting stripped. Reactive, guys. That's the way they want everybody, is to be reactive. If you're self-sufficient, you can do so many things in your life. Saves you a lot of running around, a lot of stress. Living in fear is not healthy, guys. It's not. And you can have all the preps in the world during a biological emergency. You say, hey, I've got a year's worth of food. Okay. What if it lasts longer than a year? You still got to go out and replenish. But at least you staved it off a year, and by then it should be better, right? I just don't get it. I think one reason I'm so upset is I just see corporations pushing and pushing and pushing all this stuff. They found out that, you know, preppers are out here and we're untapped market. It's cool to have all their toys and gadgets if you want them. That's great. The latest, greatest fire starter. I go camping and hunting a lot. Last time I used a fire starter was just to show somebody how to do it. I keep a 5-pack of Bic lighters and some cotton balls still, and some still in my backpack today. Yeah, it's crazy, guys. I don't know when the last time you saw anybody light a cigarette or anything else off a fire starter. But these things, companies are getting rich off of. And I don't begrudge people for selling it. I mean, if they want to make a dollar, that's fine. But that's why I'm basic. Had a friend of mine tell me he could buy a Faraday cage for a great deal for like $130. I showed him how to make one for $8. And it's very effective. So it's things that we can talk about, learn from each other. I know I'm going to have super preppers come in here and shoot me down. That's okay. You know, I don't mind. That's okay. I'm not talking bad about anybody here on my channel. I just want to be upfront, have straight conversations with straight, regular, normal people that need a little bit of guidance in their journey. I want to be part of that. I want them to be part of my journey. Does it ever end? No, it doesn't. You still got to rotate food. You've got to change your positions on things. You have to make moves. But that's basically what my channel is going to be about. I hope you really appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. I hope you appreciate some of the content that I will be bringing. I think it's going to show you a lot of things contrary to popular belief and myth. So, anyway, whether you're just starting your journey, interested in a prepper's journey, interested in the prepping community, just want to hear something for entertainment, want to learn something maybe for a rainy day, well, if that's the case, I sure hope to see you back again on Basic Prepping and Straight Talk with Tad. So, if you will, like, share, subscribe, and comment, good or bad. Let me know. I appreciate it, and we will talk about it next time.